life was about. I wanted to enjoy. I wanted to play. So around the 5th grade, I met this gym teacher, my gym coach, Mr. Larson. And Mr. Larson is the first person who questioned the 12 years life expectancy. In fact, he said, you know, kid, you're sitting on the side of the gym. I want you to be in the game. And I said, I can't do anything. The doctor said I can only do light activity at best, which means like walking. I can't play gymnastics or basketball or track or any of these things that you do in gym class, because I might have a heart attack. And he looked at me, he said, the heart is a muscle. If you use it, you'll strengthen it. And he said, I believe in you. And there was something about the look in his eye when he said that made me want to try. Now trust me, my mother was worried as can be, as I came home and told her that I was going to go running. But I went running and I ran a whole block. But I didn't die. The next day, 2 blocks. Next day, started to add on over time. And soon my mom had to tell me what time to be home for dinner because I wanted to go run. And I found that I started feeling better. And I found that every day I'd wake up with a little bit more positivity. And I went and talked to my doctors, and they did EKGs, as they always did, and they said, you know, we don't know what to tell you, but your heart is healing. Your heart is better than the last time it came in. And in fact, every time they said it was getting better. And they asked me what I was doing. And I told them I was surrounded by somebody who believed in me and told me that I should start being active. So their life expectancies moved from 12 to 18, from 18 to 25. So I got a little bit more time. And during that time, I came to Marietta College. This wasn't a story I shared because I didn't want it to define me. I didn't want my endpoint to be something that I was living to. I wanted to live beyond it. And I had already lived double what the doctors expected. So when I graduated Marietta College, I went off and started working for a business consulting firm. And I decided to run a marathon. And I decided to run a marathon because I decided if I can run 26.2 miles, and the 0.2 matters, by the way. If I can run 26.2 miles, I'm pretty sure that my heart has healed. So I enrolled and ran the Alaskan Mayor's Midnight Sun Run Marathon. And I didn't die. And in fact, when I crossed that finish line, perhaps I lived for the first time. Because for the first time, I didn't think that I had any more life expectancies placed on me. I believed that I could overcome anything in my way. And I believed that I was going to be around for a lot longer. And there's something very powerful when you know that you've overcome something. And I flew home that long flight from Alaska back to Ohio. And I sat and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And I thought about what does all this mean? And I decided that I was given a second chance at life. But a second chance is only as good as what you do with it. So from that moment on, I decided to dedicate my life to paying forward on the gift of a second chance by inspiring, educating, and focusing on health and wellness. I quit the job I was at. I went back to school and got my master's degree in exercise physiology and psychology. I ended up going into focusing on teaching fitness classes, and I really didn't know how all of this would come together. But using my international business background, using my exercise physiology background, coming together, all of a sudden doors opened where I only saw walls before. I was able to start a role at Accenture that didn't exist before. I now lead the wellness for 75,000 people across North America. I was able to write a book and get it published within a year of writing it. The 7 Life Miracles is then what founded my yoga studio. My yoga studio is called 7 because it's based off of the 7 principles I read about in my book. And so you see, all these things happen because I made a decision to listen to my heart and to follow it. I think so often we think about we have to pay our bills. We have to be responsible. We get stuck somewhere and we just have to keep moving along in our lives. And by the way, those things are important. I'm not encouraging you to not pay your bills nor be responsible. But what I am telling you is that when you listen to your heart, that tug at your heart that tells you something, and you start putting that into play, doors will open where only you knew walls before, and life opens up and offers you something new. And that's what happened to me. So you might be saying, Julie, this sounds great. I like the idea of living into your heart's desires and living purposefully and passionately. But I'm already on this road. It would be too hard to make change. I wouldn't know where to begin. I don't even know what my purpose is. Maybe some of those thoughts come up in your mind. Because whenever I talk to any of my clients, those are the things they say to me. So I've come up with 3 very simple things that you can do starting today to focus on living more purposefully and powerfully into your life and letting those doors start opening for you. The first thing is, believe that what you do matters. Studies will tell us over and over again that if we can go to sleep at night feeling a sense of accomplishment and purposefulness, we will sleep well, we will feel good, and we will look forward to the next day. But when we don't feel as if we've had a sense of accomplishment, or what we really did matter that day, we just went through another Groundhog Day, and again and again and again, and it really didn't matter what we did. We get ourselves stuck in this rut, this feeling, this sense of lost. So you have to believe that what you do matters. Maybe your current job, or maybe what you're studying in school, or maybe whatever you're doing right now in your life isn't the epitome of what you thought or hoped. But if you can find some sense of purposefulness in it, some way that you're able to help someone or find joy in it. If you're working in a company and the job you do isn't something you love, but it's a building block, but you love to write, offer to start a newsletter for that company. Do something that aligns with your purpose and your passion. Now, there's a study that came out about hospital janitors. And this is one of my favorite studies. I'm a huge epidemiology nut. I just love reading studies. Because I love understanding how people behave and how we can work together to create behavior change that are positive and good. You know, I always like to ask the question, if I know I want to do something and I don't do it, what is that gap? I want to do it, but I don't. And so I love understanding the studies of people. And so there was a study of hospital janitors. Now, you might agree with me that a hospital janitor has one of the most important jobs maybe on the planet. They keep us free from biohazardous waste. But you also might agree that it may not be the most glamorous. So they interviewed these hospital janitors and they asked them, what do you love most about your job? Helping people. They said they liked being part of the healing process. Now, if you look at their job description, it doesn't say anything about that they're healers. It doesn't say that they give medicine or that they help with the solution to helping a patient heal. But what they do is they are maybe that one person that comes into the room every day that somebody recognizes. They say that when a kid is getting a shot, they might do a little dance in the background to try to make them laugh, to get their mind off the shot. Or if somebody's getting bad news, they're there just to offer a smile and just to be there. As I started off today and I talked about how human touch and human relationships are so valuable, sometimes knowing that just somebody is there. And sometimes that's the role they got to play. So their work is purposeful because they feel that it's a part of their job is to help people heal. But you'll never find that on their resume, you'll never find that on the job description, and you'll never find that that's a reason that they got paid. But it's what gives them purpose to do all the other things they do. Believe that what you do matters. Number 2, choose a powerful perspective. I ask you to look at this photograph here and decide what you see. Is it a lazy artist? Or is it an opportunity for you to create your own painting each day? Because if you can choose to start your day knowing that you have a blank canvas, and you can fill it with whatever you want. Yesterday's story is yesterday's story. You have an entirely new canvas that you can paint. And if you can choose a perspective that's powerful for you, maybe right now you're going through a financial challenge, and yesterday your head was saying all day long, I can't believe I've got myself here. I can't believe this is where I am. Today, it's about creating the plan for where you're moving forward in your life. Or maybe it's something as simple as you're late for work. You hit all the red lights, and then you miss the exit that you've taken every day for the last 10 years. Have you ever done that, and all of a sudden the next exit isn't for 5 more miles, and now you're really late? And you think, how could I be that silly? How could I be that stupid? Maybe you could say, well, now I'm going to learn a new way to get to work. I'll get there eventually. And maybe I avoided something. For some reason, I wasn't supposed to get off on that exit. It's not about being dishonest with yourself, but it's about finding a powerful perspective that moves you forward in your life. Because we get so stuck on what used to happen, could have happened, should have happened, would have happened, or what we thought was going to happen in our lives, instead of the truth of what is happening and what we can create. Choose a powerful perspective. And finally, start small. One thing every day. So if you're looking to focus on your purpose, your passion, the things that bring you joy in your life, start by putting one thing in your life every day purposefully. Wake up and ask yourself each day, what is it that I'm going to do today that brings me more joy, that caters to my purpose, that allows me to feel a sense of accomplishment, and when I go to bed at night, tonight, this is what I'm going to be able to say happened today. Start small. Studies will tell us if you try to change the world in a day, it won't happen. But if you start with one thing. In the fitness world, we never try to have somebody go from 0 to 60 overnight in terms of their plan. We start with one thing. Maybe it's just going and buying a pair of running shoes. Maybe it's looking up a training program. Maybe it's getting a workout outfit. But every day it's something that adds cumulatively to where they want to go, that allows them to get to that point. If you can do one small thing every day and have it add up over time, you'll allow yourself to go exactly where you want to go, and you'll be right on time. So, I have one final piece to this story. You might be thinking, great, this is a real positive message, thanks so much, and I'm going to walk out of here today. I might do something, or I may not. And I hope that this last story tugs at your heart and gets you to move your mountains. This is a picture of Piper. Piper is a rescue. She was found amongst 166 other animals. She was in a cage too small for her. The cage had not been changed, so it was just filled over years with whatever would be full if the cage was never changed. So she laid in the dirtiest of conditions. Her skin was peeling because of the conditions she had been laying in. She had been neglected so badly she lost all of her teeth. She'd been abused to the point that she's deaf, and she lost an eye. She has a torn ear. She can't walk well because she was in a cage too small for her, and so she never developed her back legs. And so the reason I tell you this story is that when I went to go, I saw Piper posted, and I didn't need any more dogs. I already have 2. They keep me busy. But for some reason, there was a tug at my heart. And I went to go meet Piper, and immediately I knew right away I was going to adopt her. But the reason I knew is because the minute I met her, she was so receptive to receiving love. You'd have thought that a dog that was abused and neglected for years, that had all of her teeth rot out and fall out, a dog that had her ear torn off, lost her eye without any medical support, would be angry, vicious, aggressive, not open to people helping her. But she was the exact opposite. You see, Piper was the most loving and kind and caring and receptive dog. And not only did she receive love from me, but she gave so much love. In fact, I have 2 other dogs, and I would say that she's far more loving in some ways than my other 2 that have always said everything they wanted their whole lives. Oh, and did I mention they found her starving? They gave her 2 to 3 days or she would have died. Her body condition was at a 1 and 0 means dead. She was in terrible shape. But today, Piper does great. In fact, sometimes I bring her to my motivational talks because she's such a symbol for the message I want to leave with. So the message I want to give to you on that is life can harden us. When I talk about purpose and power and living powerfully, sometimes it sounds good, but when you think about the reality of life, it just doesn't seem to fit right now. I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the money to do this. I can't change my life. I'm already in this place and pace, and I can't make a change right now, Julie. That's for somebody else. That's somebody else's dream. But I can tell you that if you can unharden your heart, let life soften your heart, be receptive to receiving and giving kindness, love, support to others, it changes everything. It's really easy for us to harden after life has kind of knocked us down a few times. So I hope that you'll remember Piper and her story, and as you're looking to move your life forward in powerful and positive directions, the #1 thing among anything else you do is to always come from a place of love and to always give love to others and be able to receive it. And if you do that, I promise you those doors open where you only knew walls before, and amazing things will happen in your life. So with that, the doctors were able to help me restart my heart when I was born. And I hope maybe, just maybe, this talk today may be restarting yours. Maybe just to live a little bit more passionately and purposefully, knowing that those things that are in your heart, that tug at your heart every day, that you think about, that those were meant for you. And when you live into those things, you're the most joyful, courageous, and happy. And that's what I want for each of you. So with that, I always finish with this quote: the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Me being here talking with you today is one way that I hope to do that. And I just ask each of you, if you're inspired about the day, not even this talk, but something you learned from one of the other presenters that you'll share with others, to continue to have that ripple effect of passing on positive knowledge and information. So with that, I thank you so much for allowing me to talk with you today, and I wish you a joyful life full of purpose and passion.
Thanks so much for spending this